Hello and welcome to Exploring Your Inner Bear with Miss Penelope Lemon-Biscuit. Today I thought we might do something a little bit different, and she's going to take the session for a start. She's going to interpret the cards for us. So I'm going to ask a question, perhaps about the world, and we'll do my usual split the deck and she will interpret it for us. So to make it clear, Penelope here is from the bear dimension. It's a different place. Actually lit up. Did you see that? Oh, the bear dimension. Mummy knows. Yes, I do know. Yes. Because I write books about the bear dimension, so I would know, wouldn't I? But yes, she's very happy. She's from the bear dimension, and obviously our world is rather different. They call it the people dimension. The people dimension. So the people dimension at the moment, there's a lot of talk about whether or not we should use AI or whether we shouldn't. So as I've heard a lot of arguments for and against, and let's ask, what does Penelope think about people in the people dimension using AI? And I think we're going to go with, let's name a culprit, ChatGPT. Okay, what does she think about using it? Does she think it's a good or a bad thing? So let's cut the cards. Yeah, she's concentrating. Look at that. Oh, very interesting. So here is the card we've drawn. It's the Justice card, which is one of the major arcana. But the way I tend to interpret cards, she'll be interpreting. But the way I tend to interpret cards is I look at the picture. And certainly this card can often be about balance, it could be about the legal system. And again, you know, that could be related to the subject. But she's just looking at it now, and she's going to tell you what she thinks about it. She's saying, so the lady here, she said that's somebody who is asleep. Obviously she's got her eyes closed, but Penelope's seeing it as somebody who's asleep. And I think it's about the idea of using AI is a little bit like going into a dream. And look, here we've got the dream underneath here. And so I think that feels like you can use it to be creative, but what kind of creativity are you getting? The type that you get when you have your eyes shut, or the type that you get when you're asleep and when you think about your dreams? I don't know what kind of dreams you have, but my dreams can be pretty muddled up, and you wake up more confused than you went to bed sometimes. So try to bring that a little bit nearer to the camera. So do you see how she is almost seems to be in a trance state? Penelope's almost in a trance state there, thinking about it. There's something about going into an inner world, or that GPT itself is like an inner world. So it can be a confusing mass of misinformation. But I think also there's this idea that there's a mirror there as well. So you can be asking it questions, and what you're getting back is a kind of mirror of who you are. And that can be a useful thing, because we all want to know about ourselves, and that's the point of the channel, isn't it, Penelope? It is, mummy. And I also get the feeling that this lady with the eyes shut there, it's almost as though she's blocking something out. I wonder if she's blocking out the shadow self or the real self. And perhaps it's saying that when we're using GPT, sometimes we are blocking out part of ourselves that we could be using. Obviously we're blocking out part of our brain that we could be using. But perhaps it's something missing, and if you look at the woman below in the image here, it's more sort of black and white, isn't it? And certainly, you know, you could interpret that as this AI slop that we get. People just feed stuff into AI and out comes a pile of slop that looks reasonably like, does look reasonably like the reflection, doesn't it? But it isn't. It's clearly not exactly the same. But it's a good enough, roughly you can see it's probably meant to be a reflection of the woman. Yeah, so I think that's very interesting. Now, if you've got anything else to say, oh, she wants to talk about the two, this is the scales. And this is the justice card, not the judgment card. But there is something about judgment there, and using your judgment and using your discernment, because discernment was what I was talking about in the last video. And the discernment was her idea to talk about. So obviously she's quite keen that people weigh things up very carefully. And, that's generally good advice. But yeah, so is there anything else there that you want to tell us, Penelope, about this card? No. Okay. She said everything she wants to say. But I think that's quite interesting. You can ask questions about the world, state of the world, sort of moral dilemmas, that sort of thing. And what you'll get, obviously, if you do it, is you will get, a bit like this card, a reflection of who you are and your lens on the subject. But you could ask, like I just did, I got asked to get Penelope's view on the subject. She comes from the bear dimension, so they might see things a little differently. It's always valuable to get different perspectives. So you can do that as well with your cards and say, right, could we have God's perspective, please? Or whatever. Obviously, you'll need to be a little bit careful if you say, could we have God's perspective, please? Because you will have to be specific. Which God? What God? What religion? Give us an idea. Otherwise, again, that's going back to GPT. If you're putting in a prompt, the more accurate and the more information you can put in, the better. If you want something out of it, you have to be quite specific about what you put in. So, and I think that's, that goes for life, doesn't it, really? You get out what you put in. And if you would like Penelope to do any more card readings, and if you have any other questions that you'd like her to pull a card and get her answer, so Bear Dimension perspective and Penelope's perspective, then please do comment below. Try to keep them polite. Okay, that's all for now, and we will see you next time.